Hey guys, what's going on? Jamie here with a quick update for DripX. Just an update on our journey so far. You can see here it's day 4 as I make this video. Probably going to cross over day 5 pretty soon. I might even cross over in this video, but it's still very early as you can see, guys. Obviously, the earliest you could have gotten into this was day 1. We talked about it even before it was day 1. So you had an opportunity if you had not gotten in yet, but if you didn't get in on day 1 or day 2 or day 3, get in on day 4 because again, the way these protocols work is you are in the best position the earlier you get in, okay? And the longer you wait, it becomes less and less attractive to get in. Not that, I mean, if you look at the payouts, I mean, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But let's go ahead and give you a quick update. Take a look at the buy and burn. Um, just give you our general thoughts overall. Of course, want to start off by saying that I am not a financial advisor. Never take anything I say as financial advice. If you are going to get into DripX or anything we talk about, please do your own research and due diligence and only put in what you can afford to lose, guys. Yes, there's a lot of FOMO, but I would encourage you not to, at least try not to get caught up in that. I know it's easier said than done, right? But again, you only want to put in funds that you can afford to lose, guys. Okay, risk capital only. I put in pretty hefty amount into this. As I mentioned in some of my other videos, I have my main account, got my got my wife an account, and also opened up accounts for my kids, just for the hell of it, just to kind of see what happens. But it's a pretty hefty amount if I add the amounts up all together. But again, if this thing goes away tomorrow, and I don't know what's going to go on, I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that. If it goes away tomorrow, um, I'm perfectly okay with it. Not, I don't want to say I'm perfectly okay. It's not going to be, it's not going to be nice because I really want this thing to work. Because when I look at my screen and what's going to be paid out at the end of my, miners and this and that, it is mind-boggling. Okay. Again, we'll see how this plays out. We really will. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Definitely bullish. You can see here, on a 280-day miner, which, just for this example, I'm just showing you here what it would pay out. Of course, you take that with a grain of salt. Things are going to change. Nothing stays. These numbers fluctuate. There's a lot of different factors, right, that come into this. Also, you got to look at the price of the token, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't even think you can even get a 280-day miner anymore. I think they're uh they're capped out because there is a cap. There is a cap in these things, which is good. It's good. It's good that there's a cap because again, it's another what's the word I'm looking for? It's another thing in place that potentially can make this thing sustainable. But again, these numbers they're wild as you can see here. So some of you guys are like, oh man, there's no way this is going to run for 5 years. I heard somebody say there's no way this is going to run for 5 years. Here's the thing about DeFi. Okay, you to get rich in DeFi and in crypto, you don't need 5 years. Okay, I mean, you look at something like Drip, like OG Drip that lasted 2.5 years. And yes, you can argue that the last, I don't know, 6 months or whatever it was, the price was going down. Again, I got to look exactly what the price was. Could have been more than that. But you didn't need that 2.5 years that it was around for you to get rich in that thing. I mean, people got rich in that thing pretty quickly. Um, there's been things that I got in before OG Drip, right? I got into a project called what was it called? Tron Chain, right? Tron Chain and Uswap, and that ran for I think 11 months, and we made crazy bank on that thing. Why? Because we got in early. We got in on day 1. We dropped the hammer, and you know, luckily for us, it ran for a long time, right? I mean, in this space, 11 months is a long time, right? 6 months is even a long time. But again, you don't need this thing to run for 5 years for you to make bank, right? Like this thing can run for 90 days and you can make some serious bank. Again, I don't know how long it's going to run. I mean, I want this thing to run forever. But again, it's not up to me, right? We're going to see what happens here. All I know is I'm in, right? I'm in it. You got to be in it to win it, right? Like you can't, hope for things to happen and then, you don't get in, right? And be on the sidelines. Now, of course, if you don't have the stomach for high risk, if you don't have risk capital, then yeah, get on the sidelines. Don't get in. It's not for you. But someone like myself who has risk capital and we have the tolerance for risk. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I hate when platforms go sideways, but it is what it is. It comes with the territory, right? But someone like myself who has the stomach for risk, I'll get in. At the very least, just to see what happens, right? Just so do we have something to talk to, just so we can talk about OG Drip again. I mean, talking about OG Drip, especially in its heyday, it was fun, 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 man. It was like a unique time and in the space, right? I mean, it was something where it was like lightning in a bottle. That platform took off, and it was insane, insane what was going on, right? Especially if you got in early, right? Now, some of you guys are like, oh, I didn't get in early. I got in 2 years later. Well, you should have got in early. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. And I don't want that to sound cold or anything like that. Now, of course, maybe you didn't find out about it until 2 years later. I get it. But if you had gotten in early, right? When people started to talk about it, you made bank, even if you didn't refer a single person. And, with us, if you watch some of my older videos on this channel, we were giving away crazy money in airdrops. I mean, it was like, well, multiple six figures in airdrops that overall we gave out. I mean, it's all on chain. I mean, it was that's how crazy, that ride was. But, again, sometimes you get nostalgic about it. Now, again, depending on when you got in, you might not feel the same way. I get it. But all of that just to say, so let me circle back and reel it in, you know, just to see what happens and, give us the opportunity to talk about OG Drip again, even though this is a totally different platform, totally different team, which some of you guys like that. Like I've had people say, thank goodness it's a different team. I didn't like that. I didn't like the team that was running OG Drip. Again, it depends on when you got in. Like there's people that got in early that love Forex Shark, right? I have no beef with Forex Shark at all. No problems whatsoever. He made me a lot of money. Okay. So I got no problems whatsoever. But I know some people that got in late, right? They'll say, "Oh man, I didn't like him, or I didn't like the way he did things, or he was always late on his AMAs, or the launches were always crazy," and all that is true, right? But I mean, it is what it is. Um, so some people like the fact that this is from a different team. So when I say it's from a different team, I'm not saying that it in a bad way, right? I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Again, everyone has different opinions, different perspectives. It's all dependent on the lens that you're looking at this through, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, no, we'll see how long this thing runs. Again, some of you guys are saying, well, is it going to run like OG Drip 2.5 years? It's a totally different platform, so don't. It's apples and oranges, really. All I can say is there is a community behind this. You have a lot of the OG drippers that have come out the woodwork to talk about this. You have some of the late comers to OG Drip who maybe were holding a bag or maybe got stuck, holding the bag, and now they have something that they can do with their OG Drip, right? They have come on board on this. So again, there is a community. I mean, it's not the entire community of OG Drip that has come onto this, but you have quite a bit, right, that have come onto this, right? And again, as I mentioned before, anytime you have a platform that has a community backing it, right, or supporting it, it always tends to do well. Not all the time, not 100% of the time, but most of the time it tends to do well, assuming that the devs have their heart in the right place. They're willing to innovate and make moves and move with the times, and they're not intentionally malicious, right? As long as you have competent devs that have their heart in the right place, and you have a community, platform tends to do well. Not saying that it's going to run forever. These things don't run forever. That's why you got to capitalize it when when it's running, right? And again, you don't need this thing to run for 5 years for you to make bank with it, right? Anyway, let me get back on track here. I'm going off on a tangent. Went away for a couple days, came back to take a look at some of the miners, and man, it's insane. It's insane. But yeah, you can see here, easy way to get into this thing. I've had people ask me, hey, what do I put in? Do I put in BNB? Do I put in DripX? If you want to get the miners, you put in BNB. Okay. If you want to get these miners, right here, put in BNB. Now the payout at the end of your term, however long or short that you set it for, right? Whatever days at the end, you get paid in DripX tokens. Okay. What can you do with those DripX tokens? You can cash out. You can potentially put it into the staking. I don't know. It's up to you. It's your strategy. You put it together. But my point is that you put in BNB, get paid out in DripX tokens. Now for staking, right? If you go here, this is staking. This one you put in DripX tokens, right? And the payouts are in BNB. I don't think the payouts are going to be as aggressive as the miners. The cool thing about staking is your payouts are in BNB. You take your profit, and you don't have to affect any native tokens because again you're getting payout in BNB. That's a pretty cool thing. Um, so again, it's there's pros and cons to each. I got in on both, right? Um, but again, you put in DripX tokens here. How do you get DripX tokens? By the way, you can go right here, click on buy DripX, and buy you some DripX, and you can put it in here, stake it, right? You decide what days, right? The minimum is 28, right? And then you can toggle this around and play around with this, and you can see it affects these numbers down here, right? Longer pays more, or excuse me, longer pays more bonus, bigger pays more. So again, the way this works is the more you stake, obviously, and the longer you stake, obviously, right? It's going to be more beneficial for you because there's going to be a bigger bonus. But at the same time, you got to weigh out, are you willing to stake for, X amount of time, right? You may not. You might want a shorter stake. I don't know. It's totally up to you. You decide. Cool thing about this is everyone has a different strategy. Anyway, take a quick look at the buy and burn. So buy and burn V2 right here. You can see there's was that $1.3 million of BNB in there. And the buy and burn V1, there's 2 million. So $2.3 million of BNB. Wow, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. Anyway, I mean, you could just take a look at that and kind of see what the health of the protocol is. Doesn't mean it's risk free. There's nothing, guys. There's nothing risk free out here in this space. Nothing is guaranteed. It's risk. That's why there's such a big opportunity for gains. You're taking on a lot of risk to make the opportunity for big gains. That's how it works, right? High risk, high reward. So some of you guys are like, how do I play this with the lowest amount of risk that I want to take on the lowest amount of risk, but I want to make the most money. I don't know. When you find out, let me know. Um, so here's by Drip. Here's a calculator, right? So again, this is a little calculator you can look at. But anyway, that's yeah, just a quick look here. Again, I looked at my miners because again, I didn't connect this. It's not connected to my wallet. I'm not connected to my wallet in this video, but when you connect your wallet, you can see a little tab here that says Manage Miners. Click on that, and then you can look at all your miners, and it's wild, man. If it pays out what it says it's going to pay out, um, and again, knock on wood, hopefully it does, right? It is going to be crazy. But anyway, that's DripX day 4. Still early, in my opinion, right? But again, it's up to you. You might say, "Oh, that's late." Okay, well then don't get in. What else can I tell you? I'm just documenting, what we're doing with it, and we'll see. We'll see if it works out. If it doesn't work out, all I know is that I got to be in it to win it. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, excited, excited for sure. If you haven't checked out the white paper, I will leave a link to the white paper. You can read a little bit about it. I mean, there's so much content already out on this, so you probably have already looked at it. But if you haven't, pretty cool to take a look at that. There's a tab there that talks about I think there's 5 ways that they outlined on how you can potentially profit from this. One is farming, one is hodling tokens, right? We want to do that. Certainly, like I'm holding on to a bunch of tokens as well. And then there's the mining and the staking, and then I forget what the other one was. But yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult. The key is to get in. That's how you're going to learn it. You get in, you play around with it, and then you kind of watch it. And it's just like, that's how you learn it, right? Some of you guys might say, man, there's a lot of moving parts of this. Not really, right? I mean, if you want to engage in all the other aspects of making money or potentially profiting with like farming and that and this, yeah, then it can get pretty complex. For me, I'm mining it, I'm staking it, I'm hodling it, very simple, set it and forget it type of things, which is what I like. I don't like, sitting in front of my computer and watching things. I'm too busy for that. I got so many things going on, family stuff going on, like you guys probably do, right? Kids and this and that. I can't do that. So I like set it and forget it type of things. And that's why I chose to just get the mining and the staking going on. And of course, just hodling. So we'll see how this plays out. If you want to check this out, I will leave a link down below. As always, do your own research and due diligence. Only put in what you can afford to lose, guys. Risk and capital only. Also, follow me on Telegram, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell icon so you'll get notified straight away whenever I do a brand new video. And with that said, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.